Anna to fill in for my boy, who is on his way from Accra to Kumasi. And as I mentioned earlier, we are here today to discuss an interesting topic with respect to mentorship. So we want to understand who a business mentor is, what does he do, manage that relationship, what duration, and can one startup have and then I have here a special guest. I think nobody can do justice better. Mrs. Ray. So I would let her introduce the benefits of those that are joining or new to the Kumasi ecosystem. I'll let her introduce herself and then we delve into the topic for the day. So hello, ma. Hello, Auntie Rita. Hello, Auntie. Yeah, so you give us a few minutes, maybe a second, just to get Auntie Rita on the line. Yeah, I think she's currently having challenges. So, hello, Auntie Rita, can you hear me now? Hello, Auntie, we can't hear you. Hello, Auntie Rita.
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Yeah,
God bless.
can hear you
now. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes. So I think we were still at the introduction.
Okay.
To us, and then we can delve into the topic. Sorry, Auntie, we can't hear you.
Oh, okay. I thought you said everybody is introducing themselves. So I was also
No. Okay. I was saying that you.
Okay. My name is Rita Kampa. Okay. My name is Rita Kampa. I'm a corporate trainer and a mentor, a coach in entrepreneurship. And I'm also an entrepreneur myself into the business of health.
Thank you. You're welcome.
My business is called Paradise Home Care for the Elderly. So thank you very much. Yeah, I'm done.
All right, you're welcome now.
Thank you.
In the Kumasi startup ecosystem, we all attest to the fact that you have years of experience as a mentor to most startups in the ecosystem. And so we want to, yes, and so we believe that you are the best person to talk to when it comes to the issue of mentorship. So first things first, who is a business mentor? If you talk about business mentor, who is
it? When we say somebody is a business mentor, in a gentle way, the mentor is like an influencer in your business. A mentor guides and directs and teach and help you in your business. Most mentors are also in either the same business you are doing or they've gone through some series of training pertaining to your business. So they can you can look up to them for them to guide and direct you as how to go about your business. For example, if you are a startup in, let's say, food production, the mentor is the one who will guide you as to things that you need to do to make your business scale up, prosper, help you through the business journey as you go along. So basically, that's what mentors do.
Okay, so it means that what you are saying, it means that right from maybe from the early stage through to the growth stage, a mentor plays a role in the journey. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. But I just want us to clarify something. The difference between a mentor and a coach. I think that sometimes it's used interchangeably, but is there any difference between the two? A mentor and a coach? That is a business mentor and a business coach.
Yes, there is. A coach does not necessarily, just look at the football coaches. You see, they guide and direct the game, the players for their target. That is, your target on the football field is to win the game. So the coach's job is to help you win the game. So the coach doesn't necessarily have to be in your business. For example, I have a business and I want to apply some technology to it. And my aim may be by the end of the year, I want to computerize all manual systems in my business. Now, I need somebody to help me achieve that target. And that person who will help me achieve it is the coach. So the coach provides guidance and to clients. The coach helps them to achieve the aim that they want to achieve, their targets. So the coach necessarily focus on your values and your targets and what you want to achieve. They don't necessarily are not interested. They are not really interested in your day-to-day guidance in your business. I hope you get the difference.
Yes. So per what you're saying, a business coach do not need to have coaches do not need to have experience in this field. For instance, with the sector that you find yourself. But as you mentioned, maybe I have a challenge with the tech aspect. I want to improve that area. Then I get somebody who is techie that can help me achieve that. Once he's done, we close that chapter.
Yes, okay. Yes, exactly.
Okay. But for in that sector, but they should, related, they should have some level of experience in what you are doing.
I didn't hear your question.
No, I'm saying that then, okay,
yes,
so
they are like experts. You see, they are like experts who their main aim is to help you achieve your goal.
Right.
So if I want to probably open up a shop, I need somebody who will tell me that you want to open a shop in, let's say, Edum. So that person is the coach is the one who will tell me that for Edum, you need to go and see the KMA, you need to go and see this person. I hope you get it, because my aim is to have a shop there. When I open the shop, I'm done with the coach. I don't need them again.
Okay. Right. Before you continue, there's a hand up. Joanne, please go ahead with your question.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. Okay, so my question is that, can one person play the role of a coach as well as the role of a mentor? Thank you.
Yes. Yes, it's possible, because most mentors are also into coaching, but sometimes it's a little bit difficult to separate the two if you are the same person mentoring and you're the same person coaching. But you can also have a coach as well as a mentor.
Okay. So maybe an example would be, for instance, maybe digital technology. Maybe I'm a full stack developer, and then I also have some business experience, for instance, in the tech space. And maybe I have a number of solutions that are out that are doing well. So I understand business. So I can assist a business, a tech business. And then at the same time, when they have any challenge with respect to the system that they are building, I can also provide that coaching with respect to maybe building the platform and all of that. So
yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Okay. So you still on the what a mentor does. Can you some of the things that a mentor would do for the mentee with respect to the relationship?
Yes. Yeah, like I said earlier on, that the mentor is like an influencer. Looking up to, doesn't even know you are looking up to them. And it happens most of the time. I've had some mentors that I have followed and same. But the main thing is you need their, yes.
Sorry, we lost you for a few seconds. So maybe if you want to take it back.
Okay. All right. I said the mentor is like an influencer. Right. So this is somebody you look up to. So ideally, a mentor relationship takes a long time. It doesn't really end, because as and when you need some advice, you go back to them. As and when you need some help, you go back to them. And they are like motivators for you to go to the next level. When the business is going down, you look for mentors and not coaches, because the coach only comes in when everything is in place and we are heading towards the goal. We achieve the goal and it is done. But because sometimes people play dual roles, sometimes at a point you think, oh, the mentee is fine, and then you leave them. But the relationship can be ongoing. There are some people, I have seen them as mentors. So once in a while, I go back to them, sometimes just to ask a question or for them to help me in some difficulty that I'm going through. I hope I've answered your question.
You touched on duration of the relationship. Do we have a plan for it, or is it short term, long term, or is there any span for any mentor-mentee relationship?
Not really, but probably the minimum will be about 3 months. And the maximum, I don't have a time for it, because you can always go back to the mentor to ask them a question or two. It doesn't really mean you've parted ways because it's ended, but at a point in time, the startup is fine. They know what to do. So then you, the mentor, step out of the relationship and just watch them grow. But at any point in time, they can always come back and ask questions. Let's take, for instance, a startup who has been trained and mentored at Hyperspace. Hyperspace doesn't end the relationship because now I've set up my business and I'm going. Anytime you need some advice or something, you come back. I've gotten to this level, even though perhaps you've paid for maybe 3 or 4 months, but it really doesn't end. So the mentor relationship is like, for want of a better word, a big brother or a big sister that you occasionally come to when you need their advice.
And so, yes, so clearly, the mentor is offering value. So we want to touch on the issue of remuneration. How is it with your experience? How do you ensure that there is value for you with respect to remuneration?
The remuneration, if it is not maybe a company organizing it and the company is paying you, and you want the mentor yourself, then you have to negotiate with the person you have chosen as your mentor with us and how much it's going to cost. Because the mentor, sometimes you need to meet them face to face. The person needs to, you have to consider their transportation and their time, especially. Sometimes, generally, in Ghana, let me say, a lot of us don't value people's time. That is why we always go to programs late. Because if you value people's time, and I have already told Douglas, 9 o'clock, I'll be at Hyperspace. Definitely 9 o'clock, Douglas is coming to be there. Then I will take my time, roam around town, do all my things, and come 10 o'clock, which means I've already wasted 1 hour of your time. And we all know time is money. So since the person is coming to spend time to help you in your business, obviously you have to pay the person. Even if it is online, these days technology has made things easier. The person is going to call you and then discussions are ongoing. So for some people, their business is actually mentored. So as soon as you contact them, they tell you this is how much it's going to cost you. Probably if it's 3 months, this is how much it's going to cost you.
Hello, Auntie.
Relationship with that person.
Yeah, I think we lost you for a few seconds.
Oh, I said, on the other hand, you can have both paid and unpaid. Right. You can also have mentor that is free. That is, if the person is willing to do it for you voluntarily.
Okay. All right. And so the issue of free, you know that some mentors would feel that it's one of their ways to give back to society and to support startups to grow. But how do you, as a mentee, ensure that though it's pro bono, but there you be some maybe in kind that you can do to ensure that it's not just a sort of thing, but also in a sense that in addition to the person being fulfilled, there's also some value aside paying for it.
Yes, I think that as a business person, in spending time and energy on you. Let me take, for instance, those of us who are usually called to the radio stations as radio discussion hosts. Yes, we and panelists, we are not paid any money. But some of the radio stations, they know that wherever you are, you came with a car, so it costs you some fuel. So at the end of the year, or sometimes every 6 months, sometimes it's not even money, just a gift for you to say thank you for all the time that you keep coming and spending time and your energy and knowledge. I mean, they should have paid you, but once you are doing it for free and you are helping them in a way, they just give it to you as a gift. So if your mentor is not charging you anything, it's not good to be always saying, oh, okay, goodbye, thank you, then you go. At a point in time, they get tired of your wickedness, let me say, because somebody might have been very generous to them and they will be more willing to help that person than you. And I don't know if it's part of the questions, but sometimes the mentees or the startuppers, sometimes attitude shows you don't even have respect for the mentor. And I've had such experiences before. You even if the organization, let's say Hyperspace is paying the mentors to mentor a startupper, you go there and they are not even ready for you. Yet, per the rules of the relationship, the mentor is supposed to come probably once a month or twice in a month. There are others too. When you go, they think, oh, I know everything about the business. So who are you? I mean, I started this business without any mentor. So everything that you say, they don't take it. They want things done their own way. So if you're a mentor and you go through some of these things, you just leave them and then take whatever you have to another person who is ready to receive it.
Right. You mentioned the issue of tiredness. I know we may have some people on the call that are already in mentorship are willing to take it up. But you already have your plate is filled with a lot of things that you're already engaged in. How do you manage? How do you strike in such a way that it doesn't weigh you down and you're able to support the mentee and also carry on with what you're doing?
But normally what I do is right from the beginning of the relationship, I mean, our first meeting, I let the mentee know that these are the days and time that I am free. So let me also know the days and time that you are free, and then we can agree on the time, the day, and the frequency and everything. In that case, everybody can do their own business, but when the scheduled time that we have agreed on comes, we just meet either on phone or in person, and then we look at it. Now, sometimes it requires the mentor to go to the business side. So, sometimes the problem you are talking about, you think it's a problem, but that is actually not a problem. Let me give a practical example that happened recently. Somebody that I was mentoring, a company asked me to do some mentoring, an organization actually, NGO, wanted to fund some people, and I was one of the mentors. The startup problem that they brought to me was they are not getting customers. Some customers come and they are not getting repeat customers. They just come one and they don't come anymore. So when you look at the situation, you think they will need customer services training. And I decided to go there to the business side. When I went there, I realized that the problem wasn't actually customer services issue, but the problem was something to do more of emotional intelligence. You know, when men and women meet, there's always that chemistry, and it didn't go well. And somebody has gotten a broken heart, and she is kind of renting her emotions on the staff and the team, and it's not going well, because then you come to work and your boss is some way. So customers come and you don't even want to see customers. If you haven't, I haven't been to the site, I would have just given them customer services training and end there. So when mentors are asking to come and visit you at where you are, and asking questions. For a mentor, you need to ask a lot of questions. Asking questions, they are not being a nuisance, but they're just there to help you. And the answers that you give them, the honest answers, let me stress on the word honest. The honest answers you give them help them to see how best they can help you. Now, the mentor is there to help you. They are not there to do your work for you. So you don't expect the mentor to come and go to, you haven't registered your business and you expect the mentor to go to Register General and do that for you. No, some startups think that's how the mentor, that is where the disrespect sometimes come in. Asking that, after all, what is this man, what is Douglas doing for me? He's not doing anything for me. He just come and sit here and ask questions and talk. But I haven't registered my business. That is not the mentor's job. The mentor only look through your documents and ensure that, okay, you need this, you need that. So go and do the registration yourself. Thank you.
All right. For the benefit of those that are just joining us, we have our esteemed Mrs. Rita Krampa as our special guest, and today we are looking at mentorship. So far, we've looked at who a business mentor is. Either in the same sector or something similar, and they're able to provide that guidance for you. With respect to the duration, it can be a short term or sometimes even a lifetime, depending on support. Which means that the support changes over time, depending on the growth. So the support may be the growth stage. And then we looked at issue value for value, that's the remuneration. And then we touched on the fact that, that are paid, where you are not in a position to pay, there are other values that should ensure that you the fact you are receiving value from the mentor. Yes, we continue. I think that when we mention mentorship, the default thing that comes to mind is the benefit to the mentee. But there is a saying that we don't only build startups, startups also build us. So we now want to touch on the issue of the benefit to you, the mentor. What are the benefits to you as
I didn't hear your last question very well. I think
yes, I wanted us to look at the mostly when we talk about mentorship relationship. The default is that benefit. We are talking about the benefit to the mentee, but I believe that there's also benefit to you as a mentor, because once, as we say that we don't only build startups, startups also build us. So can we touch on some of the benefit to you as a mentor?
Oh yes, the mentor, you benefit a lot. Sometimes I feel you even benefit more, in the sense that you may be mentoring different people and you get experience from all different mentees, but the mentee is only doing one business. So if I take myself, for example, I didn't know anything about agric. I didn't know anything about a farm or whatever. Unfortunately for me, private school, we don't do agric right from primary school. to secondary school, I didn't have, science students, I have nothing to do with agric. But in my mentoring business, I was asked by SNV Green Ghana to mentor 4 people, all of them in agro-business. Recycling of certain things like cocoa husk and things to make fertilizers and things. And through that, I learned a lot. I learned how to do my own compost for my gardening and things. And suddenly my interest in gardening became very high. I now know what to throw away and what to keep. And through them, I learned how to dry seeds of fruits or vegetables that I like and plant them. And I have the space. So they taught me so many things, how to even separate my rubbish so that I will get some to be used in my garden and the things to throw away. I never even know that eggshells can be crushed and mixed into the soil so that it will give your plant calcium. These are some of the things that I learned through the people that I was mentoring. So the mentor, you also learn quite a lot of things from the mentees as you go along.
Okay. I mean, at this point, we will pause. If you have any question, you can ask, and then before we continue with the discussion. Okay. Yes, Auntie. And then now we go to the question, can one startup have more than? There's a hand up, Albert. Okay. All right. Albert, go ahead, please.
Auntie Rita, good evening.
Good evening, Albert.
My question might sound a bit odd based on the discussion, but I want to ask, how does a mentor reject a mentee? In 2 instances, let's say somebody approaches you and says, I want you to be my mentor. How do you handle that? I can't mentor you. That's one part of it. And secondly, if you are mentoring the person and realize the person is not taking advice, how do you end the relationship?
All right. Your first question, probably the word reject is too strong. But sometimes there are certain people that maybe from afar, you've observed them and realized that, no, this person, we cannot agree. Or your first encounter with the person, you realize that anything you say, they do not agree with it. I remember when we were doing the British Council program, Albert, you remember? One of the mentees that I was given, in fact, I really, I nearly came back to say that I'm not going to mentor this lady again, because for want of a better word, too known. I mean, it's like she knows everything more than any other person. So whatever instruction or whatever advice you're giving, she's like, oh, this one, I tried it, it didn't work. Oh, this one, I don't like it. So at a point in time, I nearly gave up on her. But then I focused on 1 or 2 things. And since I myself am an emotional intelligence coach, I have to take my own advice and be emotionally intelligent with the way I handled her. Just yesterday, I was even thinking about her because the attitude hasn't changed. That's how she is. So before I went, 2 other mentors have said, no, they can't coach her. So I think I even tried my best, because anything that comes out, sometimes right in front of everybody, and even her posts on the WhatsApp platform, sometimes he puts certain things on WhatsApp platform, and it's like indirectly insulting all the mentors there. So such a person, you can say, no, I don't want to be your mentor because I can't. Another thing too that can make you a mentor reject a mentee is when you are not too sure of their type of business. Let's take, for instance, I'm mentoring somebody, and then I realize that the person's need is technology. I'm not tech savvy. I may know a few things, but I am not an expert when it comes to technology. So I may advise that since I won't be able to help you, why don't you probably talk to Albert, Gideon, or Douglas, or somebody who knows the tech business better. So that's how it is. Now, with your second question, I think you wanted to find out, was it how you end the relationship, or?
If you realize that the mentee, it's not maybe cooperating or
Yes,
or putting your...
Yeah, I think we all have to be honest with each other. You just sit the person down and let the person know that, hey, I think I'm not the best person to coach you or to mentor you because it looks like we don't agree on certain things. When I say this, you also wanted it that way. And so it wouldn't work. And sometimes, this, I always say that when a man and a woman meet, sometimes there's some chemistry going on. So, and when you don't check some of these chemistry and emotions, it can also affect the relationship and the process. So you can tell the person that you don't necessarily have to give them a reason, but on the other hand, you can also give them a reason that, look, I think I'm falling in love with you and it's making the work difficult for me. So let get another mentor. I was mentoring somebody after the COVID. There was this program where we had to help startups whose business collapsed during the COVID to get back. And the lady that I was mentoring, after about, I think, 2 to 3 weeks, I went to a relative's funeral in Takrady and she was there. And we realized that we are related. In other words, it's like we have one grandmother. So when she realized that, oh, okay, so this is my cousin, she started misbehaving. I mean, not taking the whole process serious. When I meet her and we are talking about business, she is asking and talking about family issues and here and there. And I realized that this thing is not going well. So I just told her that, no, before you knew that I was a cousin, everything was fine. But now that you realize I'm a cousin, you're not taking this whole process serious. So I'm telling the organization that they should find another mentor for you. And that's what I did. And it worked for both of us. So you can terminate the relationship if it's not going well.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So I think that on the same question, I think maybe a follow-up. I think that, don't you think that the struggle in terms of the relationship also boils down to the expectation? I mean, from the onset, how you set it clear, and then maybe have. Okay, so then also as a follow-up, do you think it's out of the way to have an MOU or an NDA, a non-disclosure, to govern your relationship with your mentee?
Yes, I think that is why I say that right from the beginning, there should be, everybody must be honest and put their cards on the table to see where everybody stands. Normally, the mentee have to let the mentor know that, oh, this is how I think the relationship should go. Now, as a mentor, I cannot go, let's say, come to Hyperspace to come and mentor somebody, and then their business secrets, for me as a mentor, they might tell me the whole process of how they came about it. Then you, the mentor, also have to be honest and know that you cannot disclose somebody's business activity to anybody. I always say that in our part of the world, we take a lot of things for granted. One of the program that we did, that we needed mentors. At that time, I was actually working in the bank, and the bank was giving us some form of training, and we were giving mentors. And because of, I don't know whether maybe because it's a foreign bank, and even though we are all in the same bank, some of us, the mentors that were giving were outside the country. And we actually signed a document, which on the document, you, the mentor, will sign, the mentee will sign, to say that whatever discussion that we had between us, it shouldn't go to a third party. If it should go to a third party, we should all agree. And even if it should go to a third party, there's a form that we are supposed to fill that we both have now agreed that, okay, this thing is too big for me. So let's go to another person. We were being coached into managerial positions. So you have to be honest and sign. But here in Ghana, normally we don't sign anything. So before you know it, either the mentor might have said certain things or showed you certain things, and then the next moment they are discussing it somewhere else. And it can also be the other way around. You thought you were sharing your business secrets with the mentor, only for you to realize that, oh, the mentor is also giving your tips to somebody to do their business. So these things must be very clear between the two of you. And it is not always, the situation is not always like the mentor will reject the mentee, but sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes the mentor becomes too nosy, and you, the mentee, have to be honest and tell them that I think I will need somebody else. So let's end it here. Then you just look for another person. Or if it's being run by an organization, you can ask the organization to give you somebody else. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I think we'll take the last but one question. That is the issue of having more than somebody. Yes. The question again, I think I agree with Mauli. Where one startup can have more than one mentor. Can one startup?
Oh, yes. Yes. You know, sometimes mentorship boils down to expertise. So, like I said earlier, for example, if I want to start a school, I may be looking at probably Rita, who has done HR, to help me in how to recruit and train my teachers and do the selection, interview, and all that. At the same time, Mauli can be mentoring me because Mauli knows more into the education aspect of the business. So I can use these two people to mentor me, and then I just go on. You can have multiples of them if only you have time for all of them, and depending on what problem that you want them to help you solve.
Right. I think we have a hand up. Kanuba.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello,
Hi.
Kanuba.
Please go ahead.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Right. My question is, how do I choose a mentor? My question is, how do I choose a mentor? Let's say I admire someone with some qualities. I think when I approach the person, it can help my business or add value to what I'm doing. How do I approach such a person?
Oh, it's very easy. If an organization, like let's say Hyperspace is not doing it for you, you can do it yourself. On the other hand, you can contact the hubs. Normally, the hubs have access to mentors and so many people, depending on what you want. So let's take Hyperspace, for example. You can approach Hyperspace and tell them that I have a problem with my business. This is the issue. I need somebody to mentor me along these lines. And they have a pool of expertise. If it is technology, they have. If it's art, they have. If it's education, they just look through their database and recommend maybe 2 or 3 people for you. It's up to you to talk to them and make your own choice. On the other hand, you can also sitting back, look at somebody and say that, okay, probably my business is entertainment. I need somebody to help my dancers. So, okay, I know Mauli is wonderful when it comes to dancing and art and choreography. So let me approach. So you see them and then you talk to them. Then you agree on whichever terms that you want to agree with them. That will be comfortable for both of you. And then you have it done. So you can approach anybody once you think that person can mentor you. And there is a very funny aspect of mentorship that I usually call the secret mentoring. You can actually let somebody mentor you without the person knowing they are mentoring you. But I don't want to go too much into that one now. Otherwise, I'll be spoiling some people's business.
Maybe it could have been helpful to some of us.
I can hear you.
I say maybe it could have been helpful to some of us if you could go into details more.
Oh, okay, all right. Let's take, for instance, I come to Hyperspace and then I go to Douglas and start asking Douglas questions. Douglas may not know that I need information for my business. So I come to Douglas and then start asking Douglas, so what will this, I've heard everybody talking about Google Drive, what it is. And probably Douglas will take time, teach me, oh yes, this is what you use Google Drive for, this is that. Then I'll go and apply it. Somewhere along the line, it is not too good for me. Then I come back. When he's free, or I'll call him, oh, Douglas, are you free? Or can we talk on phone? Yes, I can. What is this? And then gradually, as he gives you the information, you go and apply it. Now, so far as Douglas is concerned, Rita is asking me questions and I'm answering. But it is not an official mentor-mentee relationship. Every time I come, I ask questions and then he answers and I go and apply it. I come again, he asks questions. So that can be done. Especially, this is usually done when the relationship gap is very high. For example, a startupper in maybe poultry, and you've got an opportunity to know maybe somebody like Daco Farms. You see, this is an established big-time businessman. So once in a while, when you get the opportunity, you ask them a question, and then they help you. They may not really see it as, oh, I've been mentoring Rita, but anytime I see Rita, Rita has a question for me. So that's how it's done.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Right.
I think Mauli also have a question on the issue of the difference between a mentor and
Douglas.
Yes, sir.
Can I say something brief about the answer that Rita just gave?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah, you see, in addition to what Rita said, it's better if you want somebody to mentor you without knowing he or she is mentoring you, to just tap into their passion, right? There are certain things that you realize that this person is so passionate about it that they want everybody to know, they want everybody to do it, and so forth. And I've seen this happen from those that usually post on LinkedIn or or on Twitter or Facebook. So you see particular people. Anytime the person posts something, they will come and ask a question, and then the person will come back and answer. And then you realize that for about a month, that discussion is still ongoing. Yes, the person is providing direction, but that is not official.
Yes.
Thank you.
And there are some people too who follow a particular person. Anytime they are having a program, they are there. They may not be asking any question, but anytime there's a program that probably you see the name Mauli, he says, "Oh, if it's Mauli, then I'll come." Tomorrow, Mauli is going to Takrady. They will follow them there. And they are learning certain things from the speakers or the trainers or whoever, but the person might not even know. Sometimes, if you're observant, you realize that this person is always at every program that I go to. But in other times too, you may not even recognize them, but they are actually picking a lot of things from you. Yeah. Yeah, Mauli asked a question about mentoring and consulting. When you look at it critically, you will say consulting is part of the mentoring business because you go to the person with a problem and they help you to solve it. That is why sometimes it's difficult to get free mentorship because the consulting is a job itself, because you have to find solution to somebody else's problem. So sometimes you need to, even if you are recommending a book to the person, it must be a book you have already read. If you are recommending a website for somebody to go and read something, it means you have also done it. And sometimes it may not be in line with your job. But because of that person, you have to learn it. Like my agric experience, for example, I had to really learn a lot. I have to be going to Recycle Up Hub. I have to know exactly. So otherwise, the relationship will be, for want of a better word, not beneficial, because they expect you to help them in a certain direction and you know nothing about it. But then you also have to spend time to learn. And then when they consult you, you can give them the very good feedback.
I think he also had a question on the respect to terms. What are some of the things we should be looking out for, be mindful of?
Yes, the first one is the non-disclosure.
Right.
Yes, because we are going to talk about some of the things that you may be sharing are somebody else's business secrets. So you don't need to, if you discuss it out with any other person, that before you even discuss it, there should be some agreements that, okay, can I use your example as for somebody else, or can I let this person see you? And then some of the terms will be time. And I always come back to time because it's so painful to be so excited that I want to help this startup to scale up. I want to really be there, especially when, like Gideon said, when you are passionate about what they are doing, then you are there and they haven't come. You call and they are not picking your, and sometimes it's very discouraging. So we have to agree on some of these things. And if there's going to be payment, how is the payment going to be done? Is it going to be done monthly? Is it going to be done as and when we meet? And we have to be honest with each other. You can't agree that, every month I'll be paying you 500 Ghana cedis, only for the end of the month, and you are telling me you didn't break even, so you are giving me 200. No, that is not fair. So when there's any, and I want to stress on the fact that if it is not an organization that is bringing the mentors to you, like Hyperspace, bringing you some people to mentor you, and it is you who is going for the mentor, put the terms and agreement on paper and let everybody sign so that there will be no issues. And once the signatures are applied, it means we have agreed verbally and then physically that, yes, this is what we are going to do. So it's very necessary. And then even the time for the conversations, I'm coaching somebody, and just 2 weeks ago, I recommended the person need to see a psychiatrist because this lady can call me 11 p.m. And when I don't pick, she starts sending messages. Auntie Rita, this is emergency. I need to talk to you 11 p.m. in the night that I'm sleeping. What is, I mean, this is not like you are pregnant and you are in labor. And the next morning when I call and find out what is the emergency, it's not anything emergency that cannot wait. So gradually I realized that she doesn't only need a coach, but she also needs a psychiatrist to really examine the head, because I'm not getting it. So sometimes some of these things need to be looked at so that they don't encroach on your freedom. Everywhere they are worrying you with their issues, or if you are a startup, probably you always have meeting with your staff 7 a.m. and 7 a.m. Rita is calling you and how is business, and sometimes it's so frustrating. So all these things need to be checked.
All right, thank you. I think we are 2 minutes past the time. So
okay.
Right. I mean, as we say, how time flies when you're having fun. I mean, we're really enjoying and taking a lot from what you're sharing. I believe if we give you an extra 1 hour, you still have new things to share with us. So we will just take the last question and then we give you the opportunity for your last word, and then we wrap up. So maybe in the next minute, if you have any question, the last question, Auntie, you will wrap it up for us with the last word. All right, Auntie Rita, your last word.
Yeah. Okay. My last words is that a lot of startups say, "Oh, we don't need mentors." And for me, I think it is wrong to even tell yourself that I don't need any mentor, because the ecosystem that we have for startups, you need somebody to guide and advise you. Otherwise, you pick advice from wrong people. And in business, it is difficult to identify your friends it's difficult to differentiate between your friends and the enemies. Your colleagues may be giving you certain advice, knowing very well that this is going to collapse your business, but they will still go ahead and give it to you. But the mentor is like somebody looking at the business from somewhere else. So everybody needs a mentor. I have been in entrepreneurship for a long time. I still, till today, have some people I see as mentors, and once in a while, I go to them and I call them, and then I discuss certain things or certain issues that I'm having, and they help me. Then I come back and put it in my business. So don't think that, I don't think I need a mentor. I mean, after all, what are they going to do for me? But we all need somebody to advise you on how to go about your business. Sometimes it's sad to see all the effort startups are putting into their business, and the business is going down just because they ignored a mentor.
You want to retire?
Douglas, I'm done.
Okay, thank you very much. I think Mauli, maybe you end with Mauli's question. How many people within a startup can be mentored? Yeah.
How many people
within a startup can be mentored? And so we're looking at the operations manager, I mean the management team and all of that. So in a nutshell, can everyone have
times, depending on the way the business is, you can pick one person and we know that this person, I have to get a mentor for them. Maybe their attitude towards work is not good and you need somebody else outside the organization to advise them. But in most cases, it is the business owners who need the mentoring because they are the head. So as and when they get the information and advice, they apply it the operations with the rest of the team, they do it. You can also once in a while organize a session between your mentor and your whole team. There was one family, it's a family business actually, and they called myself and another mentor to come and talk to the whole team because their family relationship was affecting the business and nobody wants to take advice from anybody. So we just stepped in, had a meeting with them and everything was fine. That was just once and then they just move on. So you can do that.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you, Auntie Rita, for your time. Thank you, our wonderful participants. For me, I always say that everything we do is governed by principles. And sometimes it has taken your mentor years to gather them. So why don't you also benefit from that without going through the trial and error that they went through, whilst you can benefit from their years of experience. And so mentorship is very key in the entrepreneurship journey. Thank you very much. By way of announcement, this coming Friday, we'll have a webinar on business models for the creative industry at 3 p.m. So the call for registration has been shared. Please register and join us on Friday for the webinar. Thank you very much once again for your time and have a good evening.
Good evening. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for